record it now. Okay,
Thank you.
sorry, you're right. And
Thank you, Mary Ellen.
it's what?
So we had called to
50
order at 7:03 and had no
7:03.
citizens comments and have reviewed the minutes
What we're doing, yep.
with no comment for item 3.
No corrections.
Moving on to item 4, for the 5-year plan. We were just talking playground wise. The unit has not shipped. It sounds like next week, you said, Dr. Ola?
The latest ship date is 8/25, which is the first day of school for the kids. And we ordered it back at the end of May, like the 22nd or 23rd of May, whatever day, I can't remember offhand. And that was supposed to come in within a week so that we could take it off this year's budget or last year's budget, 2021 budget. Never showed up. Our auditor will not allow us after June 30th to use any monies to pay for something that was not actually usable in the building by the 30th of June. So we have to figure out some other way of paying for that.
I thought we were going to use the ESSER funds.
Well, ESSER funds were for 3 other units.
Oh,
I'll make sure I'll figure it out. Sally is in the mountains of Vermont. I actually reached her this morning by text. So, as soon as she comes back next week, Monday, we'll figure it out.
So can I take advantage of what you just said? Because what I want to talk about isn't on the agenda any other way. So that means we have approximately $20,000 that we didn't spend in our last budget. Is that correct?
That is the best guess that we have, yes, because we haven't gotten a firm, we haven't gotten the funds yet from our one grant. And we don't have the final June 30th payroll number yet, but yes, it's going to be about 20,000.
So do you all think I should write a memo to the Board of Finance asking them to allow us to put 20,000 in our capital non-recurring account?
Well, they're meeting today.
I don't care when they're meeting. They can get a memo tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying they're meeting this evening. I've told them that we'll have a $20,000, approximate $20,000 surplus.
Yeah, but they need a request.
Right. So yeah, I would assume
Yeah.
we should do that. From you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'll do that. If they tell
Is
me,
there- Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if they tell me it's too late, I'll just use it to our advantage at the next town meeting. Right? The last town meeting, I had to report that they wouldn't let us put anything in for 2 years.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
The
Kathy
ESSER
just sent out that email the other day about the reminder, so I think it seems like we're within the time, so,
yeah, I didn't go back and read the law. I think we have till August 31st,
yeah.
which is ridiculous because that doesn't give us enough time to have an accurate figure.
Right,
Right.
I agree.
But 2 years ago, when I waited for an accurate figure, they told me I was too late and wouldn't let us put the money in. And then last year, I just, like July 1st, I sent a memo asking for the 2% of what our total budget was, but it turned out we didn't have anything to put in.
Right,
No, we did have something, but they said they weren't allowing anyone to put money in capital non-recurring last year. Yeah, but this year, election year, I think they're gonna let us. Thank you for letting me throw that in.
yeah. As far as the
Can I
other,
can I ask a question on the playground? Regardless of what we wrote in ESSER 3 about it being the next 2 or 3 units for the playground, can't that money be used for the first one, second and third?
Sure, we can
Yeah.
use whatever. We didn't in the grant tell them what we were buying, just the amount we were spending. So yes.
Right, okay.
Right.
It's a good idea.
And I didn't stop by yet, but did the playground get marked out, or at least the septic system get marked out? I know we talked about that. It was going to be pumped, and then Andy was going to have a mark out where the pipes are.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay.
Now, whether that's true or not, I will ask Andy.
I can try to find some time this weekend and go down. All right. As far as the other thing go, the only other thing I think was going on was the mini splits. What I know, I saw some email traffic about those. What's the latest on those?
Um,
Doug Lombardi, who did the lighting, is looking for the Eversource incentive to make them heating and cooling. He was
And-
on vacation last week, so,
I believe he came in this week
okay, good,
to
good,
do the estimate in terms of what we need.
good.
Is that something that we can do once school started?
Pardon me?
Is
I
that
would
something
think
we can
so.
do when school is started?
They can do it once the students leave the building, yes.
Or they'd have to just time it to be after school?
Correct, just like they did the lighting.
Okay.
He suggested to me, we spoke on the phone, and he suggested that rather than putting a condenser in a mini split and then a condenser in a mini split, going down the row for each one, put one condenser on the outside and put, more than one inside heat and cooling unit. You know what I mean? So instead of
Yeah.
having multiple condensers, just get a bigger one. And he thought that, he hadn't seen the school at that point, but he thought maybe 2 would do the entire school, which would be fabulous if it were,
Oh, yeah,
feasible, because then we wouldn't use oil
right.
or much oil.
Yeah, we'd have to
So,
use it at
and-
night though. Right?
No,
Do we have storage?
I don't. For what?
Storage for what?
We would just use electricity and pay for electricity from the electric company? If the
Yeah,
sun's not
what I
out,
understand. Yeah, what I understand is we generate more than we are using. So
okay,
yes, we get credit for what we're generating. And if you have it left over at the end of the year, they only give you wholesale price. So you lose money.
well,
So,
my-
but all
my-
that has to be worked out.
my experience at home is we never make more than we use. So we would just have to understand that we might be paying for electricity rather than oil if we do that.
Well, we have 127K on top of the roof, so that's huge. And
Okay,
but
I don't
that,
have.
that's something. Yeah, that's something Doug is very good at doing, which is why I think he's a good person to look at it.
Okay, great.
Any other pressing issues that we should know about, Dr. Ola?
No, all of the rooms, what Andy was assigned to do this year, unlike other years, he has stripped the wax. There are about 3 layers of wax on the floor. He got some new chemicals from Hilliard, which is our supplier, and that was able to eat through all of the wax. And so he's gotten down to the tile. And so he's gotten all of the old wax off in every room, and every room is going, and every hallway, he's in his last hallway, which is the one that is my hallway, as it were. And he's gotten the building done. We're gonna have the lawn cut on the 23rd or 4th to make sure that it's ready for the students, and that we have the playscape for the pre-K and K will be rototilled so that we have all the weeds killed and out. And they're gonna work on the baseball field. That diamond, the diamond.
Right.
Base running.
Who's they? Who's gonna do that?
The company that we have doing our landscaping at this point.
Can you just have Andy work with them too? I know last year, at one point I was up there, but the area where the swings are, those tall swings,
Yep.
the old swings,
Mm.
that was like just overgrown, completely overgrown with weeds and stuff like that too. So if they can handle that as well, it'd be good. So,
Okay. I'll just make sure. I assume they're doing that, but the swings.
all right. I think that's all I had for 5-year plans. To be honest, I delinquent on getting the list updated. I know we talked about it last meeting and I need to do that, but it's been a busy summer.
Not a problem.
I think you launched the sub, didn't you?
Well, we commissioned one the other day,
That's what.
or a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Congratulations.
We're actually in the middle of launching 4 right now, so
Wow,
it's very busy.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's no
Um,
hurry for the 5-year plan.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, and then as far as the upcoming budget, I know at the last board meeting, I think we made the decision on the bus.
Correct.
What is the next actions on that? I mean, are you and Sally still working to accommodate it all, or do we have a working
Well, the
list of things
working,
that we can? Go ahead.
the working plan is to have 2 buses. We're putting a para on each bus at the beginning of the academic year for up to 2 weeks to make sure that the students stay their distancing. And there's been a controversy. Mary Ellen and I and Beverly have been trying to figure out what the state is asking. And at this point, we just got, and I think I emailed all of you board members, the newest iteration of the COVID protocols and the bus piece. And I asked you to look at that specifically, does not say that it has to be 6 feet. It doesn't actually say any distance. We are able to do 3 feet. However, the problem with the buses, we don't know how many parents will actually drive their children in and bring them home. Everybody has received a postcard for the time of their pickup in the morning and drop off in the evening or afternoon, late afternoon, so that they know what that is. And so their decision of whether or not they're going to drive their student to school or and pick them up is still up, and we don't know who's going to do that. So that's why we will probably need a couple of weeks to hash that out. Our assumption is that more people are going to at least pick their kids up from school in the afternoon. So we know we can do the 3 feet. Whether or not we can do 6 feet is questionable at this point, but every student, including not only the paras and the bus driver, but every student will have their masks on until they get off the bus at home, and then they can take their masks off. So they will have their masks on when they enter the bus in the morning, and they will take their masks off when they get off the bus at their home in the afternoon.
So Jessica said you can send a letter asking parents their plans. And if they reply that they're planning on driving, you do not need to stop at the house.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it might be worth doing that.
Do you know, Rose, my question on that would be, you don't need to stop at the house, but in the morning, I would think that we need to develop routes that if for some reason we do, they can kind of accommodate. Is that true
But
or
they just-
not?
They need to notify us. We just would ask to be notified,
Okay,
and then we will stop.
right, but
Child,
the route, the bus route, so would we want to plan on going past those people's houses in the morning, or
Well,
obviously if
apparently,
it's
our,
not a dead end road, you wouldn't do it, but I mean,
yeah, apparently our routes go by everyone's house no matter what.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
That's kind of, all right.
Yeah, I thought of that too, but Frank assured me that we were going by everything anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how many dead end streets. Do the buses turn up dead end streets, Frank?
unless there's an actual, and there's an actual footage for the circle at the dead end street that a bus would have to use in order to be able to make the turn. I don't know what that circle is. I don't think there are any dead end streets in Hampton that has that kind of a turnaround circle.
Um,
So what they will have to do is, and they already do this, the parents, 90% of the kids are put into a car, they go to the dead end street, and the parent sits and waits for the bus to come. And that's when the child gets out. The time consuming part of it is not the travel on the route. The time problem is when a child actually is waiting at the driveway, mommy is there, and they say goodbye and they, kiss and hug, and they put the child on the bus, especially for pre-KK and first graders. And that just takes a long period of time. So they actually have in their bus software the number of seconds for every student that gets on the bus. So if there's no student there, let's just use 30 seconds. I don't even know what the algorithm is, but let's say 30 seconds. There's nobody there, so they just gain 30 seconds because they don't have to stop the bus. They don't have to put the lights on. They don't have to get the kid on the bus. The child has to sit down in a chair, a seat, and then the lights go off and then the bus takes off. So that whole process doesn't have to happen for every student whose house you go past, but who are not standing there.
all
And
right.
that's how you make up your time.
But still, I know we got the times for my daughter, and if she was gonna go on the bus to get to Parish Hill, she was gonna have to get on at like 6:30 in the morning and be on the bus for 55 minutes to an hour to get to Parish Hill. But then I want to say the last bus is gonna get to Hampton at like 8:45, right?
Yes.
So we're changing the start time of the day till 9.
No, 8:45.
8:45 is the start of the day. And what's the
Right.
end of the day then?
Well, the start of the day is 8:45. The end of the day is 3:30, but the students will be held in the gym for bus 1 to the one side of the gym, and one end of the gym is bus 2. And when the buses arrive, the paras will then bring the kids out to the bus.
And I heard they don't think the buses from the Parish Hill route will be done much before 3:50 or 4 o'clock.
No, 3:45 is the arrival time
Okay,
for the buses at our school. Now, we're stopping school at 3:30 because otherwise we would have to negotiate with the teachers union for an extended day of 15 minutes if they were to supervise their students. So to avoid that, we're putting paras in the gym, and as soon as the bus arrives, they're put on the bus.
yeah.
So when we report the length of our day to the state, are we going to count that 15 minutes?
No,
Okay,
All right.
I wanted to
Mm.
say about the distances on the bus. they can sit 3 feet apart, but if there's a positive case on the bus, those kids would have to be quarantined
Correct.
because the rule still says 6 feet, even though you're allowed.
Right, the
between
contact
3 feet.
tracing is the 6 feet, whereas, I that's what I read out of that too, Marion.
Right. So theoretically, half the school could be quarantined because they're on a specific bus 1 or 2.
Wait, but if a child sits 6 feet from the child with a case, they shouldn't have to be quarantined. If they're in a assigned
it's only-
seat,
Right, right. It's only the kids around.
Or right
the
by,
child.
right by them. The problem is if the child, well, that's why we're gonna put the paras on the bus. The children have to remain in their seats. They can't go from seat to seat. So as the bus empties, they can't walk down the aisle and go sit next to their friend. They have to
Right.
stay in the seat that they are assigned.
Yeah.
That's
Are
why,
you gonna be able to do that in the gym? Are you gonna be able to space every child in the school 6 feet?
we should be able to, sure.
Okay.
Uh,
What
are
are they
there-
gonna do there?
Well, we're gonna put it, you know, the blue painter's tape? We just put an X
Yeah.
on this floor of the gym. And so every, just like we did with the classrooms. So every 6 feet, there'll be an X. And so there'll be an aisle, which would be 6 feet, and then 6 feet for those. So, yeah, we should be able to easily do that.
I think that'd be, well, try it, but it sounds like, I don't know if the kids are gonna make that very easy.
Well, the kids may not, but the paras will be, remember there'll be 1 para on the bus, but there'll be 2 paras per bus in the gym.
Yeah.
Because we need 1 to dismiss and 1 to go out to the bus. So we'll need
Right.
4 paras.
I suspect that once the children have the routine, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
used to the 6 feet anyway, because of their desks.
Yeah,
All right,
Just to back up a bit, as far as I think this whole thing kind of centers around trying to shorten the bus ride up as much as possible. And just when were the parents asked to get back to you as far as whether they're gonna drive in or pick up their kids?
The week before school, so in the next 3, Monday, no, oh my God, the school is here. Wait a minute. Sam told me when she was doing it. I believe Monday's the 23rd? Yes,
yep,
Monday. She will
Okay.
ask them because they will have all gotten their postcards. You got
And
your, didn't you?
how are they gonna contact you? Are they gonna send an email? I mean, you gotta get
Email.
something. Okay.
I'll make
Alright.
sure Sam knows that.
So
I'll just make sure.
they get to the school at 8:45 and school starts at 8:45?
No, it
Is that
starts
what you're saying?
8:55.
8:55, okay.
all right.
And that does not lengthen any teacher day.
So by utilizing the bus, going down to 2 buses and then the other reductions that we had talked about, you basically feel like you can get down to our budget
Oh,
that
we
we need to
will.
follow?
We have to. We have no more funding. Unless there's an emergency. So for example, if our special ed student who's coming back, we have a plan for him. If he's coming back and by October, he's unable to sustain his behaviors in the building, we'll have to send them out again and we'll have to find that cash. So if we don't have the cash, we'll have to go back to the town to ask a special request. But I'm really hoping that everything will be fine. The plan seems to be pretty solid for the student. I reviewed it. Judy and the paras and teachers worked on it almost most of the day last week. So it's a pretty well thought out plan.
All right,
Obviously, the only kink is the child.
yep. All right, I think that was it I had for the budget. Anybody else have any questions or concerns on the budget? All right. All right, I guess that brings us down to just the audience for staff and citizens. Neil, I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure working with you. I think this might be your last FNO meeting, so.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was gonna say, but I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, appreciate your help and working with you, so.
We're gonna miss
Wow.
you.
Learning the inside of the business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you, did you learn that we're not as shady as people make us out to be?
Oh, sure. I haven't said anything bad about anybody. Yeah. No, just kidding.
Thank you, Neil.
Where are you,
Yeah,
Neil, where are you going?
we're going to Myrtle Beach
All right.
area.
Ah, right, nice.
Yeah. I want to
Very
get back
nice.
into music more than I've been doing and get into some of the larger churches down there and hopefully do some performing.
Nice.
Not just in churches, but in groups. It's a very entertainment oriented kind of area as well
Mm.
as, close to the water, which my wife loves, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's a perfect fit for us. Hopefully it works out like we hope it does.
Good luck, thanks.
yeah.
Thanks
luck.
for all your
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, awesome. All right, and then as far as, well, is the Thursday before our next regular Board of Ed meeting work?
Well,
Is our board meeting on Monday?
no,
Yeah,
it's the 30th. Your next board meeting is
It's
the
the 20
30th.
No, it's the 27th of September.
right.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
we have one this
Oh,
on the 30th.
somebody said the next board meeting is August 30th,
Yeah,
last Monday.
you're right. It's
Okay,
right. But in September, it's the 27th, Monday, the 27th.
correct.
So the 23rd would be the Thursday before.
Okay, is everybody able to make that?
Yep.
And then
So
I
far,
guess,
yeah.
Rose, we'll have to ask, like, at the board members, if there's any volunteers that would want to come on the board.
No,
this-
the chair assigns committee members. And I think at the next board meeting, we should talk about, there's only September, October, and then there's a November
Oh.
election. And people are seated by November. So if we go through the whole interview process, it's gonna take us a while. So I think we just might be able to get by with 8 members temporarily.
Right, but Neil, you weren't up for reelection this time, right? You came on the same time I did, so you'd be.
Yeah, I would have had two more years.
But I think Neil resigned in time for it to go on the ballot.
I agree, but it's gonna be a 2-year position. I guess that doesn't really matter, but,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. All right, so yeah, September 23rd,
At
we'll
7
do-
again,
7 o'clock,
does that work for everybody?
that works great for me.
All right.
Zoom.
Yeah, I think we'll just keep going Zoom if that's all right with everybody. It is got a convenience level that we can just, you don't have to drive and you can stay isolated and, careful for,
I think with the Delta variant, we might need to do all our meetings Zoom for a while.
yeah. Well, especially in the school about like wanting to reduce the amount of people in the school building. You probably don't really want a whole group of people there, a couple times a month. So I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Although
All
the
right, well-
governor had an uplifting press conference, he said something like 80% of people ages 12 and up have been vaccinated in at least once in Connecticut. That's really high.
Yeah.
It's not high here, though.
It's not high in
I
Hampton.
well, in our general area, northeastern Connecticut, I don't think it's as high as the rest of the state, so we have to
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for Zoom.
Okay, well, that
But-
works for me.
We'll see.
Good. Well, all right, everybody, have a good evening. We'll, I guess, talk to you not next Monday, the Monday after.
Very good. Take care.
Wait,
Sounds
Good
good.
night.
Thank,
wait,
See you next week.
oh, wait a minute. Rose is saying something, wait.
I'm hoping Frank will stay on with me so I can discuss one thing with him. Quick.
Okay,
I'm
bye.
I'm going to end, but I'm going to stop the recording, but I won't end.
Thank you.
Okay.